to episode 18 of Newysports TV. I got that right this week. Round 11 of the New FM First Division, the halfway point of the season. Today's feature match, the only match today, Saturday night, is when this is being recorded. Cooks Hill United versus Singleton Strikers. And without any crappy jokes and without any time wasting, let's get straight into it. Under 17's Cooks Hill United. 3, defeating Singleton Strikers 1. Within a few minutes it was 2-0 to Cooks Hill with a goal to Michael Dalton, the captain, and of course Campbell Guest getting the second goal, co-captain I guess you could say. Both on the same sort of level there, both experienced players from last season, both getting goals last week and this week. Not regular goal scorers, I guess Guesty bit more of a regular goal scorer than Michael Dalton, but they're both on the score sheet within the first 6 minutes. 2-0. Singleton, very, very poor start to the game. They eventually got it together. Brad who was filling in goals, Brad Fairclough, pulled up sore during the warm-up or whatnot, but didn't play, so they didn't have any subs. Bray Wissink forced into goals, it's not an unfamiliar position for him, but he was under pressure early on and he did make a bit of a mistake for the second goal, allowing that goal to go in, pretty much not catching it or something like that. 14 hours ago, I barely remember it. Crucial defensive moment from Josh Shade was the only thing keeping it from being 3-0. Some offside calls generally went a little bit wayward. For both clubs I thought there wasn't really an advantage, but it's probably offside when me in my Cooks Hill gear am admitting that it's offside and it's a Cooks Hill player, I tend not to be that biased. Some days I do, some days I don't. Today was one of those days. I had a pair of Singleton socks on. I showed a fair few of the Singleton higher-ups, the coaches and committee guys there, that. One of my favourite clubs in the league, and let's not pick favourites, but I feel like the connection with Singleton this year has been really good, and then there's some other clubs, let's name them, let's say South Cardiff and Fortin. No, I'm not going to say that I don't like them, I'm going to say that I don't really know them that well, and I've got to know Singleton. Same with Cessnock, and it's a work in progress, and it'll be good to get out to South Cardiff in a few weeks' time. I think I'm going to watch them play at Cahibra in a couple of weeks, and then we'll take it from there. So some offside, some inconsistency, nothing too crazy. 3-0. Josh Shade, after saving a goal earlier on with a crucial defensive touch, he put it into his own net. Not very good. 3-0. And Campbell Nunn actually copped the criticism here from the referee, gave him the own goal, but it was Josh Shade. Confirmation on that. 3-0 at the break and no real obvious way back for Singleton. But they did make a game of it in the second half a little bit. Cooks Hill took the foot off the pedal. They played pretty poorly in the second half, but Eli Collins was good all day. Raiden Hobson was good when he was on the field. The fullback, arguably his best performance of the year. I didn't mention it in the written review, but Angus Davies returned from a broken arm after 8 or 9 weeks on the sideline. A little bit of an inconsistent start, but warmed into the game. I, for one, I've never had a long-term injury in my seasons playing, so I wouldn't know what it's like to come back from a 9-week injury, and credit to him for being back today. Singleton, as I said, only had 11 players, no substitute. Luke Fishpool, one of the key defenders, out. Hamish Anderson out. Brad Fairclough out. What can I say? That's just not the best way to go about things. Not like they chose to have 11 players. Let's be fair, but generally it's going to be a poor result when you don't have subs and whatnot. Very hard to perform like that. Talking about performing consistently this season is Trey Proudlock, the midfielder, scoring a goal in the second half. 3-1, Singleton go down to Cooks Hill. Cooks Hill, big win for them, a crucial win. Singleton stay last, and I tell you that's wrong. The Singleton 17s team being last, that's just wrong. They're a much better side than that, and I can think of a few teams that they're probably better than. They've just got to get consistency going. Under 19s, Cooks Hill United 1, defeating Singleton Strikers 0. Jeremy Wild busy early on for Singleton in goals. Cooks Hill just peppered them, and what can I say? It was a bit one-sided at the start, similar to the 17s. Michael Dalton, the 17s captain for Cooks Hill, was backing up, and interesting enough, starting the game in the 19s at centre-back, or sweeper potentially, sort of in that area. More interestingly, the club's 2015 Player of the Year at Cooks Hill, Kaya Roth, first choice goalkeeper at the start of the year, now playing under 19s on the left wing. Very just out of the ordinary, and I've got to say there's definitely something there for Kaya on the wing. Probably should have scored a goal too. They put him up front for a bit. Giles Boyd, the coach, sort of adapted, changed around the formation a fair bit. I think they had 3 different strikers in the first half hour from what I saw, but opening goal came from Jackson Gosling, one of those strikers, one of those attackers. 1-0 to Cooks Hill, the only goal of the game, by the way. It was another Gosling that stole the show today. Emerson, the goalkeeper, pulling off an excellent save to deny Tyler Felsh, the midfielder for Singleton. Felsh dropping back and defending. Very, very high workload for Tyler Felsh, and it's noticeable in 19s and again when he does come on in first grade and or 23s. A very hard-working player, one of Singleton's better young players at the moment. Jeremy Wild tipped it over the crossbar to keep it at 1-0. And then Nathan Hall, Singleton's, let's say maybe even Singleton's best player in any grade this year, consistently. You can think of players like Jackson Cox and Stewie Plant in first grade, the goalkeeper. The quality's probably, there, but consistently, any grade, Nathan Hall is probably the best player for Singleton this season. The goals certainly show it. And he should have had 3 today. I'm sorry, I can't say anything else than that. He should have had 3. He smashed it against the crossbar. Absolutely smashed it against the crossbar. Another one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Emerson Gosling getting down low, making himself big and denying Hall. And then another save late on as well. Unbelievable that Singleton couldn't get a result in this. I think they deserve to win, to be honest with you, and I say that wearing black and white stripes. They were very, very good in the second half. They just couldn't put the ball into the net, and that is the only difference. They couldn't beat Emerson Gosling in goals as well. The man of the match today for Cooks Hill in the under-19s, his best performance of the season. Under 23s, Cooks Hill United 1, drawing Singleton Strikers 1. Zach Lewis had a penalty that was saved by Ryan Geho, but the tables, they turned. They definitely turned. James Bates scoring for Singleton and putting them in the lead, looking to continue their good form in the 23s. They've come from nowhere to suddenly be within 2 or 3 games of the top 4. Second half saw more of the same, a goalkeeper standing out. Adam Gunster this time. After James Roman gave Cooks Hill an equaliser, Gunster pulled off a miraculous triple save. Bang, bang, bang. 3 saves in a row. One of them was a fingertip save, sort of to push the ball just away from the foot of the Singleton player. It was going to be a goal. It's amazing that they didn't score here. Great work from Gunster. And late on, he fumbled the ball. It was a pretty delightful cross in. The keeper fumbled it and it fell straight to Trey Proudlock, the substitute for Singleton, and he sent it agonisingly wide of the post. Should have scored. What can I say? Seen one of their better under-17s players this year finally get a chance for the 23s, a well-earned place on the bench, and to get onto the field, not just sit on the bench. And Trey should have had that match-winning moment, and I feel like that would have been excellent for a young upcoming player like that, but it's a very talented player and getting better as the season goes on. 1-1 the end result. Neither side probably would have wanted that. Neither side could win it. What can I say? First grade, Cooks Hill United 1, defeated by Singleton strikers 3. Cookers looked decent early on, but a free kick to Aiden Palozzi almost opened the scoring. Stewie Plant saving that one for Singleton in goals. Asher Beasley on starting debut for Cooks Hill United. Himself, along with Ben Fraulich, Seb Lewis came off the bench. Lots of young players coming through at Cooks Hill in first grade. Singleton sloppy throughout the first 20 minutes. David Willoughby was vocal again. There is a match video on YouTube. Look it up, there's a shout out. David Willoughby sort of trying to push his side on a bit more, and it worked. Some sloppiness turned over the ball, and I'm going to try and pronounce this right. Claudin Armitage. I'm going to have to try and get that right before going up to Singleton and doing PA next time. Claudin scored a goal for Singleton, and then he removed his shirt and got yellow carded. That's silly. Maybe in a grand final, not in a round 11 game at the Newcastle Athletics field. Maybe not next time. Can't do that very often. 1-0 at half time. The second half, bang bang, 2 goals to Singleton killed the game off. Quality fullback Zane Hand, who played well in the first half and plays well most weeks. Very handy player, no pun intended. I didn't even think about that until I said it. Zane Hand, handy player. And I feel like an underrated player at Singleton. Doesn't get mentioned that much even here on Newysports. He scored the second goal for Singleton, and then Derek English scored their third. Game over, and it was looking like it was going to be 4-5, 6-0 at this point. Cooks Hill just falling to pieces at home again. A late goal to Jack Wilson. Let's talk about Singleton first. A delightful win for David Willoughby's side. That's 2 straight. Finals probably out of the question. It's a long way back, but I think what David Willoughby would be looking for at Singleton is just consistency week by week. Build on it, build on what they're doing, and by the end of the year, who knows, maybe mid-table, maybe sneak into the 4, you don't quite know at this stage, but definitely looking to build towards a future with some of the players they've got there. As mentioned, Nathan Hall, Tyler Felch, Jackson Skinner, Trey Proudlock, I guess. Maybe not pushing towards first grade at this stage, but look ahead to next year. Great young players there at Singleton. Hopefully they can keep them all there. Good for the club's future. They do a very good job of it at Singleton, from top to bottom. Superb club, superbly ran club. I don't say that about every club either. There's some clubs that maybe aren't as ran as well. But big fan of Singleton, and I really don't mind them coming to my home ground against my team, Cooks Hill, and beating them. I don't mind it. It happens, and today, quite frankly, they deserve to win by more, I think, because Cooks Hill were absolutely horrendous at times. First 20 minutes, as I said, was decent, but the second half especially, just no desire, no effort. Once it gets to 2-0, it just all falls apart. Maybe some effort from 1 or 2 players. Ben Fraulich, the left back, a young left back, always gives it his best. Jack Wilson, I thought, maybe not his best game today. He tries to give it his all every week, but Big Mal Hinchcliffe also another one, but the midfield and attacking wise, it was just lackluster. And I'm going to say now that Cooks Hill, over the next few weeks, they've got Cahaiba, Belswans and Wallsend. You could be looking at 5 or 6 goal hidings if they come and play like this against those teams, especially Cahaiba next week out there. Cooks Hill's finals hopes, I think they ended today in a blaze of not so glorious circumstances at the Newcastle Athletics field. And just a note laid on about the club, I feel with a club like Singleton there, that's what Cooks Hill should aspire to be. And I was saying this today, club culture needs to be better. And I'm just going to mention this, I'm going to mention it on video because why not? Because I should. At the end of this game, I was waiting for team sheets. Everyone had left, and I saw the club secretary and vice president packing up the goals. No players left. That's piss poor. Let's be serious about that now. This is a bit of in-house cleaning for Cooks Hill that's just spilled over on the Newysports TV, but you go to Singleton, you see players packing up goals. You go to Fortin, players help out, you know. It doesn't matter if they're from 17s, 19s, 23s. Today it was supposed to be the 23s. They all left. That's not good enough. And, you know, me, the media manager, after packing up the PA speaker, packing up cameras, packing up all this, I went out there and helped pack away the goals because that's how I feel about my club, and I work for my club, and I feel very passionately about that it's not good enough. And teams like Singleton, all their players, a lot of them will stay back and watch, especially at home. It doesn't happen at Cooks Hill, and it doesn't happen at a couple of other clubs I can think about. But it's definitely something that should happen, and I tell you that right now today, that's not good enough for players getting paid to lose. Getting paid to lose, that's not good enough in the first place. But, you know, not helping out after the game, come on. Let's be real. And yes, on that topic, it's not really a Cooks Hill topic, it's a topic around a few clubs. I'll say that right now, players shouldn't be paid to lose. And that's the end of the story. That's how I feel, and whether it be $50 for a loss, $100 for a win, it should be $100 for a win, 50 draw, 0 for a loss. In different circumstances, I don't know. I'm not in charge, but I'm just saying, if I was in charge, they wouldn't be getting paid to lose. I'll tell you that right now. Valentine FC versus Edgeworth Eagles. This is NPL results today. Let's try and get back on track a little bit. That got a little bit harsh, didn't it? Under 19s, Edgeworth 5-2 over Valentine. Pretty fair result there. 1-1 draw in the 22s. Pretty decent for Valentine, actually, against decent Edgeworth team. And first grade, Edgeworth 4-0 over Valentine FC. Phoenix falling to the ladder leaders. I'll tell you, Edgeworth's going to be very hard to stop from maybe going back to back. You know, Edgeworth, Magic, Olympic, those are probably the teams you're going to see at the back end of the season. Maitland, dark horses. Jaffers, I don't feel like are going to threaten this year. Adamstown's season's fallen to pieces. I don't even know if they've got a goalkeeper this week for tomorrow's game. Western not really threatening this year too much at the moment. They've lost the Fortin brothers. They've lost the goalkeeper there. They've got a new goalkeeper in, of course, but lots of changes at Western. The Jets youth are pretty crap this year. That might be a little bit harsh, but that's the realism of the situation. They're coming second last. I think I've gone through everyone, haven't I? Is there another team? I don't think there is. If there is, I apologise. Valentine, I guess. There or thereabouts, you know. It's a work in progress at Valentine, and they've picked up 1 or 2 decent results so far, but against Edgeworth they were always going to struggle in my mind, and they didn't go too well. What can I say? Alright, that's pretty much it for Newysports TV. Tomorrow I will be at Wallsend and Belswans. There's going to be a lot to get through tomorrow night. 4 games in New FM, a lot of games in NPL, 4 games in NPL indeed. Lots to get through. That's pretty much it. So, congratulations to Singleton for today's win, and a reminder to Cooks Hill that the effort across the board should be better. What can I say? I like being very particular about things. Maybe that's how this show is viewed, I don't know. So yeah, very, very tired, signing off, and I will see you in about 2 seconds or 5 seconds, whatever the hell it is, for the second part of this episode, reviewing Wallsend versus Belswans. Should be a good day tomorrow. I'll see you then. Welcome back to episode 18 of Newysports TV. This is the Sunday portion of the show. This is the longer portion of the show, so here we go. I seriously just want to get through this very quickly this week. No BS. Let's go with that. Under 17s today, Wallsend versus Belmont Swansea United was the match of the day today. Under 17s, Wallsend FC 3 defeating Belmont Swansea 1. This game came to life very quickly. Belmont Swansea scoring the opening goal through Harrison Rapp within the first 4 minutes or so, I think, off of memory. I think it was on the 4th minute. Clarity was restored soon enough. Baraka Barindwa rounding Danielo Apollonia in goals for Belswans, and Baraka would score the opening goal for Wallsend, the equalising goal of the game, 1-1 after 10 minutes or so. Apollonia was again left beaten. Defence for Belswans sort of letting the keeper down, and Jacob Ray had a chance to put it into an empty net, and he didn't. I believe he used his wrong foot. I believe he should have used his left foot. I might be wrong there, but coaching staff weren't too impressed with that. He probably should have buried that and made it 2-0, 2-1 I should say, but he didn't. Apollonia would make a save soon enough to keep it at 1-1, and Wallsend as well were defending fairly often, and Angus Hall had a chance. Angus Hall took the chance to clear the ball during what was a dangerous Belswans attack. The home side, they'd soon enough take the lead through Juma Sadie, the tricky attacker, scoring another goal for the season. Very good player, Juma. Belswans pressed hard to start the second half, and they troubled Wallsend. The defensive pairing, Darcy Hall and Jackson Manning, all year these guys have been very, very consistent. Darcy Hall probably the better of the two today. Both of them played very well though. Very hard-working defenders, and a physical style showed by Wallsend today that made me think back to some of the games I watched earlier, especially in pre-season, where they just didn't have that, and now they do. And some of these guys physically are probably up there as, you know, the strongest team in the 17s division. Players like Jackson Manning and Juma Sadie. Low centre of balance for Juma Sadie comes in very handy, and can just very, very talented player who will in a few years' time, I believe, will be playing a fairly decent grade. Daniel Strazzeri, another one that is physically commanding in that lineup for Wallsend compared to some other teams. You know, they've got a very physical side this season, and it's really working at the moment. Belswans keeper Danielo Apollonia had a chance, what am I trying to say? It's too late, I just want to get through this. Juma Sadie had a chance, Apollonia saved it. End of story. Physical challenges, as I mentioned. In terms of technicality, this was pretty ugly at times. Belswans just weren't at it today. Communication wasn't really there. Passing was off. It was just one of those days. Apollonia lucky not to get sent off for handling the ball outside the box, and the resulting free kick saw Dan Strazzeri make it 3-1 with a pretty damn good free kick, I'll tell you that much. Charlie Herrival had a chance late on, free kick for Belswans. It was a dangerous kick, but at the end of the day they were beaten by an informed Wallsend that just keep getting better and better. Under 19s, Wallsend FC 0, defeated by Belmont Swansea United 2. Belswans started the better of the two sides, and I guess that's how it ended. Dylan Merrick kept very busy through the game, especially the opening stages. Belswans hitting the post early on. Red Devils were reduced to, well, not reduced to, but they were forced to use an early substitution as Braden Smith went down with a leg injury, which looked bad. He was stretchered off. And I was sitting there thinking, this is not what this team needs, is another long-term leg injury after what happened earlier this year with all those. But he came good throughout the day, and by the end of the day he was walking around rather finely, if that's a word. Finally, I don't know if that's a word. He'll probably be back within the next couple games. Got the bye, of course, in 2 weeks, so maybe not until their game at Cooks Hill, but I probably in doubt for next week at this stage. Wallsend improved in the second half. Joel Blundell played very well today, even in the 23s, more on that soon. Belswans' defence proving tough to break down, and they'd take the lead through Joel Nicholson getting back into scoring form, the striker there. And Wallsend, they pushed, they deserved something in this game. They had so many chances, it just wasn't happening. I think what they needed today was a clinical striker. Belswans winning the game with 3 minutes to go, Aidan Hampton scoring their second goal, which at that point, with 3 minutes to go, it was looking likely that they were going to win, but that goal sort of puts the icing on the cake. 2-0 for Belswans, a big win in what is a very tight competition at the top of the 19s. Under 23s, Wallsend FC 4, defeating Belmont Swansea United 1. This was the game of the day, and I'm very glad that it was the only, out of the games that got filmed, out of the games that could have got filmed, this was the one. And it was a decent game, and I tell you to get a chance to go onto YouTube and check out some of the opening half. Probably the first half better than the second, in my opinion, or there or thereabouts, let's say that. I mainly say just go onto YouTube and watch the first half just to see Josh Rufo playing in under 23s. The Wallsend first grade coach kitted up, and apparently played up at Singleton a couple of weeks ago in a midweek game that I didn't really know about, so I was very, I don't know the word. I saw the team sheet, I saw Josh Rufo's name in the playing lineup, and I thought, what the hell is going on today? Tell you what, it was quite entertaining. Took a shot from the opening kickoff. That's never really a smart thing to do. A good laugh, but never probably going to score a goal, especially against a goalkeeper like Michael Peachy, who's not going to be, strolling around the field in the opening 10 seconds of the game. I think he would have been onto that, and he diffused the situation fairly easily. Wallsend, they didn't start well. A sloppy turnover, gave the ball away, and just like that, bang, straight away Luke Lethbridge, Belswans taking the lead in the 4th minute. Not the start you'd want against the ladder leaders in Belmont Swansea. But Wallsend, to their credit, I figured, they're 1-0 down in the first 4 minutes. They've been out of form. One of their main players had to pull out early before the game, before the day started, or earlier in the day, I don't know. But they were forced into some changes. Apparently training maybe wasn't up to the standard that they want it to be during the week. I think they struggled for a couple numbers at training. Excuses. I thought that they were going to get beat today, even before the game started. And when they're 1-0 down in the first 4 minutes, all that went out the window. They came back. Josh Rufo scoring a goal. Now, I've never thought I'd get to say that at this stage. That's quite something. A cool finish across the goals. Let's not go too far. It was a decent finish, but it wasn't anything too spectacular. As much as I'd like to say it was. Rufo getting on the score sheet, though, you can't complain with that, can you? I mean, winding back the clock. No fancy backflips, no dancing, no celebration, no overboard celebration. Delightful to see the gaffer get on the score sheet. You can't go wrong, as I said. The next goal was actually pretty damn good. Cameron Tapp, delightful in-swinging corner that ended up in the net. Michael Peachy got a bit of a hand to it. I wouldn't call it an own goal. I'd call it deflected off the goalkeeper. That's what it was on the team sheet. It was Cameron Tapp's goal. Luke Lethbridge had a chance to make it 2-2, but missed a header. Joel Blundell came on at the break. A couple changes for Belswans as well, but Blundell played very well. Oh, Blundell? I'll go Blundell. Played very well at right back, which I was told is not normally his position. I think he's a midfielder. I'm not sure on that one. But he played really well, called into the 23s today. Josh Rufo's game came to maybe a premature end, but I don't know, 45 minutes in, I don't know how long he would have lasted. I don't think he would have played the whole 80. That might have been a bit of a big ask, especially with first grade warming up and himself being the first grade coach. Gotcha Abshalava came on, and Gotcha is a very talented player. Maybe not the hardest work rate in the league, but he's up there as one of the best players in the competition in any grade, and I think a few people will agree with that. On his day, he can be very, very dangerous, and showed some class today. Some of the shots he was having from long range, like free kicks and that. But again, he's not a player that gets back and defends too much. That's his style. If they work to that, they'll do well. I'm not saying he's lazy, because he's not. Going forward is what he does, and that's what he does very well. Daniel Horgan denied a goal for Belswans, offside call. I'm not going to say it was on or off. I wasn't really in line. I was on halfway. Close call. Very close call. Wallsend at this point were playing like crap. I think that's just the word to describe it. Let's use that. This isn't really a formal show. I think I can use that. Their makeshift centre-back pairing would get it together, and they got it together well. Ethan Brogan and Jason Maguire. Maguire's never played centre-back apparently, well, not this year at least. Ethan Brogan had played 30 minutes of centre-back this year, so together with Blundell as well on the right, this was a hell of a defensive effort throughout the latter stages of the game. Jason Zeckel played one of his best games I've seen this year. Weaved his way... I thought I was about to sneeze and I didn't. There you go. Weaved his way through the Belswans defenders, brought down in the box. Despite Belswans coaching staff protesting it, it was a penalty. And Trent Richards slotted it home, and then moments later Jason Zeckel with a cool finish to make it 4-1. The front flip celebration was back, and some great work from youngster Jeremy Wen as well for Wallsend. Jason Zeckel was great, as I said. Nick Doyle was solid in goals. Ethan Brogan good. Jeremy Wen, one of the best young players at Wallsend. Jordan Salembus, Cameron Tapp. You could just name the whole team. This was a team performance. Trent Richards leading from the front. Josh Rufo doing well when he was on, leading the team around. This was a hell of a performance, and probably the best performance, all-round performance I've seen from a 23s team this year. It was very good to watch, and against the ladder leaders in Belmont Swansea, they simply played them off the park at times, and Belswans' heads dropped and they lost 4-1, a big loss for them. Wallsend FC 3 defeating Belmont Swansea 1 in first grade. A huge result for Wallsend. Belswans had a couple of players missing. They started slowly. Their throw-ins were absolutely horrendous. What can you say about that? They're pretty entertaining. Their normally pretty entertaining style was nowhere to be seen. But they came together. As the contest went on. Luke Jennings was forced into a top shelf save, and the match really turned on its head. Wallsend they went down the drain for the last 25 minutes or so of the first half. In my mind, they should have been 2 or 3 goals down at half time. A good team, a good attacking team on their day would have had them 3 or 4 maybe nil down at the half-time break. Defending was absolutely horrendous. A soft, very, very soft penalty, a stupid penalty to give away. Fletcher Price makes no mistake, 1-0 Belswans. Jamie Hadlow had a chance to make it 2-0. And as I said, maybe saying 3 or 4 might be a bit over. It should have been at least 2-0 at half-time, maybe 3. Wallsend just... I thought they're going to come out in the second half, they're going to get beat. They didn't. Nearly conceded an own goal at one point. Luke Jennings was forced to do a lot of stuff in goals and lived up to it again. A very, very underrated goalkeeper there. I say underrated because he hasn't really been mentioned in much of the stuff I've written. Very good today and has been consistent for the majority of this season. Wallsend, there would have been some harsh words in there at half time, no doubt. It just wasn't up to their standard. They came out in the second half and they did a lot better. Chris Gazzard scored a delightful long-range goal, the club captain, to tie it up, and then Kyle Mackerig put them in the lead. Trent Milton worked hard today, but it was a substitute, Tegan Marcus, scoring his first goal of the season. It's taken long enough. 11 weeks in. Very good player, Tegan Marcus. Scoring, making it 3-1. Belswans fell away, simple as that. They didn't really, once it got to 3-1, they weren't, I think they put 3 at the back. It sort of worked a little bit, but Wallsend just, they kept calm for the majority. There was a few shaky bits, they just needed to sort of park the bus. Not the best thing to do, but they just needed to play a bit more cautiously, and they did. Belswans assistant coach Mick Stafford, in my opinion, lucky not to get sent off the field for throwing a second ball onto the field and breaking up a Wallsend attack that still ended up as a goal. They just carried on. The reason I don't think he was sent to the stands is because he's actually the backup keeper, so he was yellow carded as a substitute. He was yellow carded. If he was only there as an assistant coach, I believe he would have been sent to the stands. Not very smart from staff, and it's not like he went out there and punched a player in the head. Let's be serious. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I don't think it's too good of a look for the team when the assistant coach is throwing a second ball onto the field to break up an attack with 10 minutes to go. That's just my opinion. Staff's a good dude, and I love what they're doing at Belswans this year. They're not like that, but that could have been better. I think that was just a bit of a brain snap or a brain fade, I don't know. Wallsend move ahead of Belswans on the table. Belswans next week, they got Lakes. They need to step up at home. Of course, that first game of the season, they beat Lakes at Macquarie Field, so why not again? Why not do the double against Lakes? Be big for Belswans to do that. We'll see what happens next week. And just lastly, with Belswans, I'll give them the award for being the club that's just complained to the referees the most out of every club that I've seen this year. I'm not trying to be harsh. I don't care, really. I don't, but there was a lot today. There was a hell of a lot of complaining today. I don't know if it was just because I was sitting very close to each bench. for the majority of the day. Maybe I heard more than I normally do, but some of the stuff, at times you could tell it was joking around, but the banter was good. I'll give him that. Belswans, great club, and Wallsend, indeed, I think they're the best club in the league. Maybe not performance-wise, I think that belongs to Lakes, but for team environment, supporters, backroom staff, management, I think they are the best club in the league, and I really, really enjoy working with Wallsend. Really do. And I'm saying that after last night on, earlier in this episode, blasting Cooks Hill's players for not staying back. I'll tell you, I was there at the Gardens, and straight away the game ended, and their under-19s team were out there packing away the goals, packing away the benches. That's how you do it. Cooks Hill's under-19s, I don't know where they were. They weren't there at the end of the game yesterday. 23s weren't there at the end. First grade weren't there. Some clubs are better than others in that terms, and I think a lot of clubs should look at clubs like Wallsend, Cahaiba, Lakes. I guess professionalism needs to be there. I'm done taking shots at Cooks Hill for now. That's just some in-house cleaning, I guess. Around the grounds in first grade, let's go through it. South Cardiff 2 defeated by Lake Macquarie City 3. Ladder leading Lakes doing the job again. Matt Gray, Sam Walker, Brad York, the goal scorers. They've dropped just 4 points all season. Slow start to the year, but they've come together now, and they're running away with it at the moment. But that's not the thing about this game. Yes, Lakes won the game, but I think the main thing about this game is South Cardiff and the effort they put in against the ladder leaders. It has to be commended. Liam Capetti and Cameron Herring scoring the goals there for South Cardiff. They've got a young team. They've got a team that lost a lot of experience at the end of last season, come down to this division, and they've had a pretty inconsistent year. I'm not even going to say inconsistent. They've been consistently not winning. Some draws, a lot of losses. I don't think it's where they'd want to be. I don't think Andrew Packer would have aimed to have been 8th or 9th or wherever they are at the moment at the halfway point. But today's result for South Cardiff, it's a hell of an effort against Lakes. Love them, hate them, it doesn't matter. Lakes are the benchmark in this competition in every grade, most grades. Maybe their 23s team's not really there at the moment. It's sort of even in the 23s, but first grade, 19s, 17s, Lakes are the benchmark. And to push them to the limit like that, 3-2, that's very good for Southie, and I really do hope that Southie can get a few results towards the back end of the year. A lot of away games, most likely, because they've had a fair few home games. They've been away from home for 5 weeks. Very lopsided scheduling there, but Southie, I believe they'll be very happy with that, despite the loss. Toronto Awabba 0 defeated by Cahaiba FC 6. I'm not going to lie, I'm not surprised. I tipped this score, and if you look at the last 4 weeks, Toronto 4-6, 4-6, that's what they've conceded. On paper, it looks like they just played like crap and got beat again. That's not how it played out though, and that's why I like getting sort of the news from the matches. Cahaiba's Jaden Demir subbed off in the 21st minute, which I believe probably would have been an injury, so I'm hoping Demir's not badly hurt, because very good player and you wouldn't want to see that. Jared Penfold scoring the opening goal, the only goal of the first half, 1-0 at half-time, Cahaiba Toronto. That's very good for the Stags. And I think it got to the 64th minute and it was still 1-0 for a team that have just been smashed left, right and centre as of late by everyone. Not just good, not just top 4 teams. I'm talking teams like Fortin and West Wallsend have just put Toronto to the sword. And today was a lot better from Toronto, but then Caleb Preble sent off down to 10 men, and it all just fell apart. It all went out the window. Ski Webster, Sean Clerk, Matt Lee, Jacob Hill and Trent Vegter scoring goals. Cahaiba winning 6-0. No real surprise there, but Toronto will be disappointed with falling away there. But Tony Josefsky I think he should look at it as a way of saying that it was a very decent performance for 60 minutes. Maybe not that good in front of goals. I wasn't there. They got Johnny Nicholson back, who's going to be a big help in front of goals. But so yeah, I wasn't there. Like, just because it was 1-0 doesn't mean Cahaiba could have scored. They could have scored 7. I don't know. But from what I've heard, Toronto until that point they were all right, but then it just sort of went out the window. They're in a rebuilding phase at the moment. So that being said, 6-0 at home, it's not good. But they'll move on from that, hopefully. They've got Wallsend away next week. That's going to be very tough. I think you're looking at 4-1 next week at Wallsend. That's probably what I'm going to go with. 4-6, 4-6-4. Keep that pattern going. Cessnock City 1, defeated by Fortin Redbacks 2. Talon Martin and Jacob Bartlett, the youngster, I believe. He's the youngster. I think he's from the 17s team. Not too sure there. Jeremy Morton got the goal for Cessnock, but they get beat, and apparently they just really didn't threaten too much in attack, Cessnock. And apparently, from what I've heard from a neutral, Fortin probably should have won by a couple more goals. That being said, Fortin, it doesn't matter, 2-1, 3-4, 5-1, it doesn't matter, they got the job done. They jump Cooks Hill, they jump West Wallsend, and suddenly Fortin have some form. If they had beaten Cooks Hill last week, which they didn't, and they definitely could have got a result there that day. They're a dark horse, Fortin, for finals. I'm not sure if they have a full strength squad at the moment. They've still got Jamie Subert sitting on the sidelines at last check. Fortin are a very difficult side on their day, and of course still alive in the FFA Cup. Maybe let's not get too far ahead of ourselves there. I don't think they're gonna, Belswans and Fortin, Singleton as well are the representatives in the FFA Cup. I'd love to see 2 new FM teams go to the round of 32. That'd be great. But I think you'll see Edgeworth and Hamilton, maybe Charlestown, Azuri, also in there. I think there's a couple. I think that's it. I don't know. I don't think you'll see Fortin in the round of 32. As good as Fortin Redbacks versus Melbourne Victory at Fortin Park sounds, I don't think it's going to happen. Under 23s, let's go straight through this. South Cardiff 1, drawing Lake Macquarie City 1. Lakes 23s, they've got to stop drawing, and it's becoming a theme in the 23s across a lot of teams. There's been a lot of draws, and being involved at Cooks Hill, I go to all their games, and they're being inconsistent as of late. They've been poor. They've been dropping points, and they're still within touching distance of the top of the league. And it's because Lakes and Belswans dropped points today. The 23, someone's just got to step up and say, this is our competition, and it's not happening at the moment. It is wide open, and I like it because I don't want to see teams run away with premierships, and to a degree that was happening in the 17s with Lake Macquarie, but even them, today they were drawn by South Cardiff. They're not running away with it, which is good. Not good for them. They probably want to do that, but I like to see competition. And in the 23s this year, the competition, the quality is much improved. And today, Aaron Gunn was the scorer for South Cardiff, Jordan Harper for Lakes. And yeah, what can I say? A very decent result for Southie. I think they're in the top 4 as well. They're there or thereabouts. Both teams will need to start picking up wins though, especially Southie. There's some teams coming from behind, Cohiba are one of them. Cohiba today 2-1 over Toronto at Lyle Peacock Field. Peter Milore, I believe, I don't think it's Migliore, it's spelled that way, but I think the G is silent. So we'll go with that. He scored the opening goal, back on the score sheet. Taylor Amos scored a penalty for Toronto, but the winning goal would come in the 46th minute from Cohiba captain Jez Turner, who is now equal top scorer in the competition, and he's a fullback. Just like there's no real standout team at the moment in the 23s, there's no real standout goal scorer. And you look at the 19s where Sam Jones has 13 or 14 goals, 15, maybe even 15. You look at the 17s, Curtis McRitchie's got 13 goals or so. Sam Walker in first grade's got 13 goals. The top goal scorers, there's 3 of them in the 23s and they're all on 7. There's no real standout goal scorer there. I don't remember anyone getting a hat-trick in 23s this year. I'm sure it's happened, but... Oh, I do actually. Jackson Cooper for West Wallsend at Cooks Hill, he did that. I think there was another one, but it's got to be some more goal scorers, what can I say? Talking about goals, Cessnock City 3, drawing Fortin Redbacks 3. This episode's going very, very long. I need to hurry this up. Fortin were leading with 3-1 with 15 minutes to go apparently. Mitchell Cox got 2 goals for Cessnock. Jordan Tully got another. Fortin scorers Jai Bowen, Kieran Mason and Liam Penglaze. A much better result for Cessnock. Coming back and drawing the game, Fortin will be very annoyed with dropping points. Under 19, South Cardiff 0, defeated by Lake Macquarie City 3. Lake's too good here. Goals to Josh Richardson, Brock Torrance and James Ward. Josh Richardson, the winger, now taking his tally to 10 goals for this season. A very talented winger there. A very talented Lake Macquarie City side and too good for Southie today. Toronto Wabba 0, defeated by Cohiba FC 6. There's that score again, 6-0. Toronto, they were boosted by the return of Dan Wills to the club. Toronto local, and that's where the party would end. Bailey Cooper opened the scoring. Westlake's junior Matty Hughes got a double. Jared Watkins scored, and Bailey Chaplin got a brace. Top of the table for Matt Moncrief's Cohiba FC under-19s team. Somewhere where I wouldn't be surprised to see them at the end of the season. Them and Lakes and Belswans and Cooks Hill, and I'm sure there's another one, Westy. You know, there's 5 teams there that can all, in my opinion, take the crown in this division in the under-19s, which is also, I think there's one or 2 points separates the top 5. That might not be accurate, but it's very, very tight at the top. Very entertaining. Cessnock City 3, defeating Fortin Redbacks 2. What can I say? Cessnock 19s finally winning a game. Reese Paprocki got on the score sheet. Fortin did lead through Jack Halverson. 17 standout Will Forbes for Cessnock. Scored a freakish volley from long range. That's what Cessnock told me. I don't know. I wasn't there. I trust Cessnock with that. Ty Rolls getting the winning goal after Josh Davies equalised for Fortin. I believe that's the order. I'm not sure. Ty Rolls won the game though. Huge win for Cessnock, and a side that luck has deserted this year. And it's great to see them get a win, and that's with respect to Fortin. It's disappointing for them to lose another game, and to lose in that style, very close game. But for Cessnock, I'm delighted for them, and hopefully it may kickstart a bit of a form patch for them. That leaves Toronto 23s as the only team in the entire competition without a win. I don't know if that's going to come. I think luck and some talented striker is letting them down. Under 17, South Cardiff. No, I'm going to leave that till last. Let's go here. Toronto Wabba 0, defeated by Cohiba FC 1. Talking about luck, Toronto's 17s have just... they're not really being outplayed. They're just not, they're going down one goal to nil. They're drawing games, close calls and dropping points. This was a crucial result today for Cahibra, and it leaves Toronto suddenly mid-table, and they've got to fight their way back into the top four. Pat Waller was the goal scorer there for Cahibra, a gutsy win, a crucial 1-0 win. Cessnock City 2 defeating Fortin Redbacks 1, another win for the Cessnock 17s. Aaron Comerford scoring a goal, a very, very consistent player, and also Will Forbes with a brilliant free kick. One of probably their best player of the day. Got 2 goals, they're both very good. What can I say? James Cooper got the goal for Fortin to put them in the lead as well. Cessnock City coming from behind again. All 3 of their victories in the 17s this year have been from behind. And that says a lot about the team. South Cardiff, this probably, I don't know if you'd call it the biggest result of the season, but this is a big result. South Cardiff 1, drawing Lake Macquarie City 1. Lakes 9 games, 9 wins. It finally ended on Sunday morning. It's now Monday. It's just ticked past midnight, so I'm technically accurate with that. I apologise for the Bonnie Horajose, I think it's Horajose, got the opening goal. I apologise for the pronunciation there. For South Cardiff, they took the lead against Lakes. This was a team that was sitting last, and they got beat pretty fairly by Wallsend. Of course, goalkeeper got sent off, I believe, that day. Talking about goalkeepers, Riley Kakauti was the fill-in goalkeeper today, and he was injured. I'm not sure if he had to get subbed off or not. I didn't see the team sheet. I believe he might have. It sort of rattled the home side, and Lakes would get the equaliser. Tall defender Adam Mitchell rising above the rest and heading home. I'm going to say that. He might have scored with a kick, but I'm going to say defenders normally score with headers on corners, so I'm going to go with that. All in all, a quality result for an inconsistent South Cardiff side. No harm done for Lakes. They're still top of the league, and they won't want to, they can't afford to keep drawing games. Let's be honest about that. But it's nothing. They didn't even lose. They drew. They'll no doubt be disappointed. They would have wanted to go, they would have wanted to go about 22, 23-0, win the whole year. Why not? 9-1-0 is their record, and you can't go wrong with that. That's it for the New FM. So we go over to NPL real quickly. Under 17s, Valentine FC 1 defeated by Maitland FC 2. No result yet for Mid-North Coast versus Adamstown. Charlestown City versus Western Workers Bears. Under 19s, Western 3-2. Under 22s, Western 3-0. A bit of an upset there. Big result against what was an informed Charlestown team. And in first grade, Charlestown City 1-0 over Western. I tell you what, the Blues, they're going well at the moment, Charlestown. I have read a few things, a few people's opinions. Maybe people aren't completely sold on them, but you can't go wrong. They're sitting fairly high on the table at the moment, and whether they can take that to Olympic and Magic and Edgeworth and win games there, that's going to be the test. But Charlestown City at the moment are doing well. Western this year, I can't see them really doing much with the players they've lost and the start they've had. Maitland FC against Lambton Jaffers. I don't want to say this, but it sounds like a bit of a boring day. Under 19s, 1-1 draw. Under 22s, 1-1 draw. First grade, scoreless draw. I'm not a big fan of draws, so that sounds like a pretty ordinary day at Cook Square Park. I don't know, it might have played out a bit more entertaining than that. I wasn't there. A result that probably favours Lambton more than Maitland at the moment. Lambton in a little bit of a form slump, but Maitland at home especially, they probably would have wanted to win that one. Adamstown Rosebud versus the Newcastle Jets Youth. slash Emerging Jets. The Emerging Jets were 5-1 winners in the 19s. The under 16 Emerging Jets are killing it this year, doing very well. Under 22s, Adamstown 2-1, and in first grade, Jets Youth 3-0 over Adamstown, and I believe that leaves Adamstown dead last. They're having a shocker this year, Adamstown Rosebud. A lot of it's their own doing, with goalkeepers getting sent off and goalkeepers getting sent off. It's going to hurt you, and it did, and I'm sure Graham Law's probably just in disbelief at some of the stuff that's gone on in the first few weeks of the season. Adamstown, they've got to turn it around soon. 3-0 to the Jets Youth, and the Jets Youth admittingly haven't been very consistent to start the year, to say the least. The match of the day, Hamilton Olympic versus Broadmeadow Magic. This is a game that I've gone to a lot in the past, and it's always a cracker between two probably best clubs in town. Edgeworth might have something to say about that. Olympic and Magic, it's just that rivalry. It's thrilling rivalry. Magic 2-0 in the under-19s. Decent win for them, and I actually watched the last time these two teams played in the 19s was a semi-final, and I was there. Or it might have been a catch-up game. I was there for something. I think it was a semi-final. I don't even know. But I remember watching Olympic and Magic in the 19s last year, and the quality compared to New FM, it was so much better. And I don't really want to say that, but I do. This website mainly deals with New FM, but the quality in NPL is very good. Magic and Olympic, they just do the job. And under 22s, Hamilton 2-1. First grade, Hamilton Olympic 3 defeating Broadmeadow Magic 1. Magic outplayed and defeated. Big win for Olympic. They'll be loving that at Darling Street, beating the arch rivals, in some style as well. That's pretty much it. It's been a very long episode today, and I was going to apologise for that, but I can't really apologise. It just has to go as long as it goes. That's how it works, because I have to get through everything, and I have. I'm very tired. And the Zone League show coming up later in the week, I will hopefully be at Maryland versus Hunter Simba on Wednesday night, and the feature New FM games this week. Singleton and Cessnock on Saturday, making the trip back to Singleton. Looking forward to that. Hopefully it doesn't rain this time. And then on Sunday is Belmont Swansea hosting Cookshill United out there at Blacksmiths Oval. Pardon me, that's wrong. It's actually Cahibah FC hosting Cookshill United at Cahibah Oval. Belmont Swansea's the week after. So yes, back to Cahibah next week as well. Looking forward to that. And apart from that, that's pretty much it. And apologies to any Knights fans who happen to be watching this tonight. Horrendous is all I can say about that. 62-0. What can I say? That's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else. If there is, then I have simply forgot it, which isn't good, but it happens. I will be back for episode 19 of Newysports TV, same time next week, same place. Same carry on for an hour and 5, an hour and 6 minutes, however long it's been. And I will see you then. I'm Ty Stedman. This has been episode 18 of Newysports TV. See you next week. Enjoy the week.